Hey everybody, just realized I have not done an update on the yard in a long time and any of the gardens, so come along with me and let's take a walk through here. As you can see, the first big difference, we put up a fence all the way around the house. Reason why, the back alley was getting way too much traffic and a lot of people we didn't know, and just don't think I want to have that kind of problem, so the fence is up. You'll have to excuse some of the blowing. There's 35 to 40 mile an hour gusts today, but what the heck. Let's get going. Okay, so the Hosta gardener, well, let's just call it the beginning of, because it does go the entire length around the fence, front yard, every place. We have 40 different varieties that we have planted over the years. So let's take a look at them. This one here, I know that the people we got the house from said it was here already, and our next door neighbor, her great-grandmother lived here from the early 1900s, and she said that they put this in about 1930, 31, I believe, somewhere in that neighborhood. It was when the house was brand new. Well, at least the add-on section from what I can tell. But anyway, so we've got a hosta here that's almost 100 years old. That much I can verify. The next thing we go on to is Rose of Sharon. Just going down the list, looking at all the hostas. More Rose of Sharon. Okay, let's take a look. Here is the mum garden that got put in, mum and conifer, last year. Those little silver things you see are lights that I got off of Amazon. They would remind you of the Avatar seed pods at night. They can either be all white or changing color, and really getting a lot of enjoyment out of them. They are solar. Go look at one real close. There you go. I'll have to do a video at night with them on. And we start getting into the pyracantha. And we had a really harsh winter, and some of the pyracantha died off, but we have discovered Mojave will take 20 degrees below zero. So we just replaced everything with a Mojave. Yes, those hostas get 100% sun, 100% all day long. They thrive in it, they do well in it. For those who think you can't grow it in full sun, well, keep it watered. That's really all I do to it. So the fun part of the garden. We reclaimed back about 200 square feet when we put up the fence. Where that wishing well is at now is on top of an old stump. The fence used to come inside of that stump about 5 feet. Well, my wife and I, we've always liked fantasy and whimsy, so we decided to go ahead and build a giant fantasy garden using what we've already got. It will stretch the entire length of this fence around the entire yard to the garage when it's done. Let's take a look at where it's at right now. This is only the first week it's been built. We've got a little gnome house, and he's on his bunny rabbit. Or sorry, that's a squirrel. No, that's the bunny. Needed to find the squirrel one too. We got a couple back there. Houses aren't painted yet. I'm gonna let my wife do that. My pride and joy, Empress Wu and Empress Wu, both doing fantastic. One thing that I'm concentrating heavily on is growing moss, and you can see it starting to come in. This is just native Arkansas moss. And I've got some thyme that I put in. I'm gonna have to get it some more water because it needs it, but it'll start filling in there. Down that back pathway there will probably be some lights hidden in there just to give it a little character through. Who knows, maybe some glow-in-the-dark eyeballs. Our dogwood tree is just fantastic. The tree I'm under right now is a mulberry. So again, let's go down, show you the hostas as I walk. By the way, the sun, I'm gonna not get the main sun, but that's looking south, and if I tilt it any higher, you'll get sun. So you can tell those hostas get full sun. Just keep them watered, they'll be fine. And we get into the garden. This will be redesigned all next year. Can't wait for that. This garden has served me well for 14 years, 15 years. And now with the fence up, it's going to expand back into the back corner here. We'll be putting tall growth in the back here, where you see basically from right here, cutting in an L, staying 2 feet off the back fence. That'll be for asparagus, a little bit of corn, your taller growing plants. In front of that, I'll probably do tomato or something a little higher. And then as we fade out into here, this will all be torn out and rebuilt. It'll get into my salsa garden. Anybody that's ever seen some of my other videos or pictures on Instagram or Facebook, they know I love making salsa. This year we have a couple cucumbers in the back. Those chives I have had for, oh good Lord, over 20 years before we got to this house. They've gone with me everywhere. Little basil. And we got a cherry tomato starting to take off. Our beefsteaks. And multiple varieties of peppers. They're starting to finally get going on growth. We got one tomatillo there. We got spearmint, chocolate mint, and then another tomatillo that is just, well, going to town. Hey baby. My wife laughs whenever I'm out here, all the birds around, because I feed them. Let's see, going over to the center garden. This one has got a lot of grasses in it, just fun little things. We got a curry. We got a little baby sage growing. More curry. This is going over a grapevine that for some reason hasn't come out yet. We got oregano and sage. And a little bit of mint. I forget which, oh that's, oh heck, I can't remember what that one is. And our Japanese maple, one of them. Let's see, got a little rosemary. And then we get down into the English thyme and lemon thyme. That Mugo Pine I propagated from our mother plant. I had over 20 attempts on it and finally got one to take. So I guess it is possible. It just, I don't know why it took and the other ones didn't. I did them all the same way. Excuse me. There's the mother plant. And yeah, she's 4x4 right now. 4 foot by 4 foot. And for those who watched the Hosta video, there's the little mouse. Yes, that is the one that grew inside the shrimp tank for over a year. I just brought it out here and planted it, and I actually divided it. There's one there, and there's a little guy. So, doing really good. But that's the tour of the backyard and all the plants and a little hint of future things to come. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. I do love the lights, and I'll try and remember to get one. I'll do a front yard video pretty soon here. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Have a good one.